Yeah, yeah.
So in an instance like that, I guess, so you're a face-to-face coach, you've got an obligation to be there in person to deliver a service.
Yeah.
Let's start with a 21-day holiday.
Yeah. So I think before we even go to that, like we have to peel it all the way back to like, what are you walking into the gym with? Like, what are you offering people? What's happening when people sign up to your business? Like, is there an agreement? Are there terms and conditions? Like, do people understand what the service they're getting? Like, are you selling a membership? Like, do they understand they're not just getting time off you? Like, all of these things, this tone that we have, the language that we use, really sets up the ability for you to remove yourself from your business temporarily. And at the end of the day, as much as you guys love your jobs and you're young and you're energetic and you think, I can just work.
You can't.
You can't.
Forever.
Even like, you may get sick. I had to have knee surgery when I was younger, when I was still training people. Like, outside of holidays, there's still times where you guys may have to temporarily remove yourself, or you just decide to. And that all comes down to people understanding how the service works, how this personal training membership works. So if people understand that, if in the event that they're sick, or there's holidays involved and those types of things, they already understand that you guys maybe potentially do make-up sessions for that. So in a shorter holiday, or a shorter period of like getting sick for like a week or maybe 2, for most of your clients, you're probably going to be able to do make-up sessions with them. Now, I totally understand that 3 session a week clients, multiples of those, probably going to be a bit hard to catch up on those, which is totally fine. But you would rather take in maybe 50, 60% of your weekly income from meeting those 1 to 2 session, kind of client obligations over a period of time, than just saying to all of them, like, it's too hard, I'm just not going to do it, and just take the hit. The older you get, like, it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So a makeup session system works really effectively. And like, just to put this into perspective for those ones that are like, no way, because I know a lot of people are going to be listening, like, it doesn't work. Basically, Christmas, I took Christmas off for 2 weeks every year, sometimes 3 weeks. I got paid the whole time. I would do makeup sessions before, I would do makeup sessions after. I would just like really push the idea of like getting into shape before Christmas. And then I would push the idea of like doing extra sessions to get started when you're back. It's just all about working with the person. And It's like, how do you get the most out of that person? If they see you more often, they're going to get better results. I even got people to do more sessions in a week long term by just doing makeup sessions. I'm like, hey, we're doing really well with these 2 sessions. Would you like to keep them for a bit? And they're like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
So such an easy way to...
Someone like from the mentorship last year, she went away to Europe in her first year as a PT.
Yeah.
And continued.
Was it 6 weeks?
Just less than. It was just
still
under.
A
huge
decent amount of time, especially in your first year.
And she built her business into that by bringing people on and saying, let's do these multiple face-to-face sessions per week so that when I go away, you are confident in how to show up. Let's get the ball rolling. Sure, she was pushed. She did a lot of sessions. She was a full book PT. But yeah, managing a few before, and then for when you come back, making sure people, let's book a couple like of the makeup sessions when I get back to make sure that you are in your routine. You can split them up over both sides.
Absolutely.
Of the holiday.
It's a very effective strategy. And then for maybe some of you that are in that like kind of hybrid kind of PT kind of style of service where, you've got some online clients, maybe you got some face-to-face clients, but the service is the same. You're just like delivering a face-to-face component to, those face-to-face clients. Put everyone on a online hybrid personal training, kind of service while you're away. So it's like, cool, the fees dropping down to online. I had clients where I'm like, hey, we're just going to drop down to the online rate. When I get back, we'll go back to the face-to-face rate. They were all sweet with that. Very, very easy to do. And I did that a lot, like just literally towards the end because I had obviously a lot more online clients by then.
I'll interject here because I do work with most of the coaches that are face-to-face and starting to transition to online in their early days. A lot of people get really concerned with their online rate being too high compared to their face-to-face rate. And before anyone jumps in and has a heart attack and is like, yeah, but then how can I justify them paying that much and I'm not there? It goes back to what you were just saying about the language and what you offer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what the service is that you are offering.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got more options as well. Like if you don't want to push someone down to an online rate because you don't think the value's there and you're maybe undercharging for your face-to-face because, that's just kind of where you're at with stacking your proof and stuff, then choose another way to keep your business going. When I was a younger trainer and then started to actually run a business, I used to hire personal trainers to train my clients while I was away.
Yeah.
So I would just subcontract to, the trainers in the gym that I trusted, and I would literally have everything organized. So I would do a meet and greet, be like, hey, I've matched you up with so-and-so, you guys will be a great fit while I'm away. They can do the times that, we do or very similar. So I'll let you guys lock those in. They know your goals. They have your program. They have everything. They can, you'll be taken care of. And then I would just subby them out because they're basically just babysitting. So I would pay them, I can't even remember what it was. Maybe 50 or 60% of the session.
Yeah.
And because I was like, well, you're just literally
watching,
rocking up and watching and keeping them motivated. I'm doing everything.
They're not programming. They're not doing anything. Yeah.
And the contrary to that was I've actually had other coaches do the same to me, like me look after their clients. But the pitfall for them was they didn't do anything because I was maybe a more experienced coach than them. So they were like, Jace has got this. So here I am like, what are your goals? What are you this? So, I didn't have a program and everything. So I would train them the way I would train them. And then they would pay me. And then they were like, I kind of don't want to go back.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to it. And I'm like, in a couple of instances, I'm like, you fucking have to.
Yeah. I don't want you.
No, I'm like, this is going to cause too much fucking politics in the PT room. But, I picked up a few clients that way too, which was at the detriment of the planning of the coach. Like, plan it, prepare it, have it all there, super successful.
It shows your client what's the word I'm looking, not your
commitment.
Your commitment and, your ability to do your job well.
Oh, absolutely.
Competence, that's the word I was looking for. It shows them how competent you are and how much actually goes into a session. It's not just like a hand pass, this other guy can do a job better than I can. It's like, no, I know you inside and out. This is who is watching you do this session.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's also... if online is the way that you want to go, it is such a good segue for them to understand just how much is done outside of the sessions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we kind of made this shift. We've kind of made this shift, even with the way we're mentoring to do for the face-to-face clients, do the check-in in the session. There's really just no reason to be to sit back and do this separate check-in when in the session it can be so immersive and specific to what the client needs. Rather than talking about your weekend. It's why don't you just run through your check-in questionnaire with them? How did you rate your performance last week? What are some of the wins that you had? What are some of the things that you're experiencing challenges with? What can I do to help facilitate, moving forward with your goals and stuff?
You're going to get a better answer in person anyway because you can change the way you phrase. Don't be a fucking robot and be like, what was your biggest win this week? You can make it so emotive and add so much value. And you may think, some people may be like, yeah, but they really just like that time with me because that's something I've heard as well. Really I can guarantee you that they enjoy paying you to see results.
I can guarantee you they also want very specific conversation about how they're going to get results from you. So
exactly.
Yeah, their time with you is actually that. Because if you think about it, we didn't have the internet. It's what were you doing before then?
Correct.
Back in my day, guys, we actually had to talk to our clients about their results in the gym. So I just think that's what they're paying you for. That's what they want you there for. Do it there. Because then if you do want to transition to them being online, they see value in doing the check-in and stuff. Because if they're already doing all of that, they're like, well, what's the difference between what I'm doing now and what I'm getting? Especially if you're not charging for your face-to-face time the way that you should. It's face-to-face time, especially the more experienced you get, should be a significant investment from, the client. So that would be... a way of doing it that I would suggest. And other than that, obviously if you've got a team and you're expanding, one of the benefits we had when we had 4 coaches at Good Life, I could just, I went on 2 honeymoons and I was just like, you guys are training with,
you got it.
You guys are training with my team.
Yeah.
And that was sick because they got paid for the sessions, but I still got paid as well. Rewarding feeling.
Yeah, I
Better
think
than getting zeros.
exactly. And like in a lot of these instances, particularly especially for the extended period holidays, like I guess it's about accepting if there does need to be a cut, where that cut comes from.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. And then obviously we've talked a lot about like looking after our own interests, and then because that's how business works. And for those at home, like, money's how we keep score.
Correct. It's a business.
The flip side of that, which is super important, and I've even taken, cuts on money and stuff just to literally keep the business going, is because momentum is more important than anything. Because you don't want to come back to nothing. You don't want to come back to 2 weeks of no pay and clients dropping off and all of that because they've had zero. So you just want to almost like create this, sense of normality for everybody that you're working with, so they're none the wiser. They get their program, they're still working towards their goals, they still have the support, all of those things. That to me is worth more than anything. Like, yeah, it is important to get paid. It's important to have income. You've got bills. You still want your book of clients when you get back. You want as many of those as you can. So that is a lens that you want to look through. Like, one lens is income, one lens is like through the client.
Yeah. What steps? So if there's a face-to-face trainer that's listening to this and they're like, well, shit. Like, if I don't PT Susan doesn't go to the gym. Right? So obviously we've spoken about offloading to other trainers and subcontracting to other people and whatnot. If someone realizes that their language needs to change and they need to start putting more of a business lens on their face-to-face service, where do you think that they should start with that?
Like I said at the start, it's making sure that people understand like what this like personal training service is. Like, it's not this like gentleman's agreement handshake type deal where it's like they rock up for like an agreed time and you're just paying like cash in hand and shit. Like, we need to move on from that. It's like prehistoric like business bullshit. So now it's a membership. Now it's an agreed service. Now they understand the commitment from their side and the commitment from your side. And they have the ability to look through the obligations and the terms and conditions of that service so they understand what's going on.